Hey guys, it's Brittany from She Run the World. For those of you who are new to the channel, I moved to London from the US a little over 2 years ago, but basically I've been living abroad in China, Prague, Vietnam, and then just months and months of non-stop backpacker travel in between all of those moves since 2018. So I'm definitely used to life abroad, probably more so than US life as an adult at this point, to be honest. So I thought it would be fun to share that it doesn't matter how experienced of a traveler you are or how experienced of an expat you are, each place is so different and you're going to have such a different lifestyle no matter where you go. Between the rain, the damp, and a few unexpected cultural quirks, I found myself buying things I never even knew existed. So if you're moving to the UK or just curious what daily life is really like, this video is for you. Let's dive into the 10 things I never thought I'd buy before moving to Britain. First, let's talk about water softener tablets and water filters. One of the first weird surprises I encountered after moving to the UK was the hard water. It affects everything: your skin, your hair, your kettle, your dishes, even your shower walls. I quickly learned that if you don't use water softener tablets or a lime scale filter, you'll end up with a crunchy kettle and crusty faucets in no time, and it made my hair feel so disgusting. I've even seen some horror stories from people on social media of their hair actually falling out because of the hard water. I'm sure that's obviously not a common occurrence, but the fact that it even can happen should show you that it's really not good for you. I now regularly pop these tablets into my kettle and use a water filter for my shower, and I know a lot of people drink it here, but I never drink the tap water. I always drink bottled water. In the US, I never thought twice about the water coming out of my faucet, but here it's something you actively manage, and trust me, your appliances and your hair will thank you. Next, let me introduce you to my favorite British winter survival item, the hot water bottle. This is something I never even knew existed before moving to the UK, and I'm sure I'll get some comments from Americans in the US saying they exist in the US, I use them all the time, but I'm from LA, so this is something that I've definitely never needed or seen anywhere sold in stores. Maybe someone from a colder state would use this in the US, I'm not sure, but here in the UK it's basically an emotional support object during the colder months because many flats have limited heating, especially at night. Hot water bottles become your best friend. Or honestly, if you just want to save money, because last year I never, not once, turned on my heater at all because I wanted to save money. I just used my hot water bottle religiously. You know, I just wanted my gas bill to be as low as possible, and it was like less than 30 pounds a month. But this year I was pregnant. I didn't care. I just wanted to be warm and cozy, and my winter gas bill was over 170 pounds per month because we just always had the heater on, which is insane, like so much money. But anyways, I usually fill mine before bed. I stick it in under my duvet or even just hug it while I work, snuggle with it while I'm watching TV on the couch. You can find them with like little cozy covers, shaped like animals, you know, cute prints, whatever it may be. It's such a simple pleasure, but it makes a huge difference and can save you a lot of money in the winter. Next up, we have a drying rack. One of the most surprising adjustments for most Americans when they move abroad or just to the UK is not having a dryer. In the US, every apartment will have a dryer, so it's not really something that you think about as an American. And technically, I am cheating a little bit with this point because, like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, I've lived abroad pretty much the last 7 years, and no other countries, you know, maybe Canada, I'm not sure, but no other countries in the world have dryers in their homes as the standard like they do in the US. But my apartment in China had a drying room with built-in racks in it. My apartment in Prague had a washer-dryer combo, which was unheard of and amazing, even though it didn't work great, but it was better than nothing. And in Vietnam, my apartment included a maid service that did our laundry twice a week. We were literally living the dream there. It was so nice. But anyways, so of course in the UK, like most places around the world, it's very normal to air dry your clothes using a drying rack, and moving here was the first time I actually had to buy one. Next is something I'm going to talk about a lot in next week's video, where I compare US and UK apartments, a wardrobe. So for those of you who don't know, in the UK, finding a built-in closet is pretty rare, especially in the city center. So you have to buy a wardrobe to hang your clothes in. This is something I've never done before because in the US, all bedrooms are built with built-in closets. In fact, you actually can't legally advertise something as a bedroom unless it has a built-in closet. And after using a wardrobe for my first apartment here, my goal was to try and find a built-in closet for my second apartment here. Honestly, it was pretty difficult, but I'm so glad I was able to find one because you just realize that you get so much more space with a built-in closet rather than this tiny wardrobe. Plus, the wardrobe takes up so much space in your already tiny London bedroom. So yes, I've never bought a wardrobe before moving to the UK, and I hope I never have to again. This next one kind of goes with the last point, but dehumidifier bags for your wardrobes and closets. Dampness is a very real thing in British homes, especially in older flats, which, let's be real, 90% of homes are super old here. One trick I picked up early on was using these dehumidifier bags that hang in your wardrobes or closets, and they have these little pouches that absorb moisture and prevent mold, musty smells, or just kind of that weird damp feeling in your clothes. I hang them in my bedroom closet, under the sink, in our storage closets, honestly everywhere, and it makes such a huge difference. In the US, this is something I've never experienced inside of a house, maybe because I've only ever lived in warm places. Maybe colder places like New England people have these problems, I'm not sure. Let me know in the comments below. But in the UK, moisture sneaks into everything. We also bought a full-on electric dehumidifier to get rid of moisture in the entire room, but these hanging bags are a great low-cost start to keeping moisture out of your house and out of your clothes. Next up, we have proper winter gear. Like I mentioned multiple times, I'm from LA, so my idea of a winter jacket is just kind of like a denim jacket, nothing too thick and definitely nothing waterproof. So when I first moved here, I had to buy proper winter gear to get through those cold, wet British winters. And I asked myself, do I need a rain jacket, a winter coat, or both? Definitely learn from my mistake and get both. Before moving to the UK, I thought one good puffer jacket would do the trick, but spoiler alert, it did not. I learned the wet and windy way that not all puffers are waterproof. I assumed that they were just because they're so warm and fluffy and just kind of that material on the outside, but after getting completely soaked in mine walking through central London, I realized I was missing a crucial piece, a proper rain jacket to go on top. So in Britain, a good raincoat is non-negotiable. It should be lightweight, fully waterproof, and come with a hood so you can actually tighten it in the wind. And like I mentioned before, the British cold is sneaky because it's damp, windy, it's bone chilling. I quickly upgraded to a long insulated coat that's waterproof and wind resistant. So now I keep both a proper rain jacket and a serious winter coat on hand because you really do need both to survive. And before moving to the UK, I had never bought either. Next is something that supplements my last point, an umbrella that can handle wind. And I know you're probably thinking, oh, there's no way you've never brought an umbrella before moving to the UK. Yes, I've bought umbrellas, but always just like those little cheap fold-up ones, really compact. You can just like throw in your purse or keep in your car because, again, I'm from a place where it rarely ever rains, so an umbrella really isn't something that most people even carry around with them or honestly even own. So it's definitely not worth spending good money on a really nice, expensive umbrella that can handle wind because you just don't need it. But here in the UK, it's a completely different story. I have bought and broken so many cheap umbrellas in this country, but the wind flips those little travel umbrellas inside out in seconds, and then you're just getting soaked and you're just carrying an umbrella that's flipped upside down. Eventually, I invested in a proper wind-resistant umbrella, one with like a vented canopy, fiberglass ribs, and it made a huge difference. A sturdy umbrella is a must-have here, and honestly, it's something I never really thought much about in the US, but now I keep it in my bag at all times because you really never know when it's gonna randomly start raining on you here. Next is an electric kettle. I never thought I'd own an electric kettle because honestly, I just don't really drink much tea in the US, and if I ever needed hot water, I would just kind of use those boiling water taps, like dispensers that we have. A lot of US apartments or homes have that, especially if you get like a water delivery service, and that little water stand will have that red tab. It just comes boiling water. Like everyone knows what I'm talking about, I hope. But in the UK, they don't have those, and tea is basically a love language, so kettles are in every kitchen. I got used to having a daily cup of tea, especially during the colder months, and what surprised me most was how fast the electric kettle just boils up the water, and it's really super convenient for cooking too. So it's not just for tea. I use it for instant noodles, filling my hot water bottle, but now my kettle gets daily use. Next are some cozy slippers, and again, I know what you're thinking. You've never bought slippers before moving to the UK, but like I said, I'm from a hot place, so normally I don't really need anything on my feet if I'm just kind of lounging around in the winter. You know, maybe I'll wear some fluffy socks or whatever, but I've never really wore, you know, thick slippers at home because my feet just weren't cold enough to ever really want that. But after experiencing my first UK winter in a drafty flat with icy cold floors, I ran out, I got the thickest fluffiest pair I could find. A good pair of indoor slip shoes or slippers is essential here in Britain, and the heating here is often lower than in the US, and so the tile or the wood floors get really cold. So now I wear them every day from autumn throughout spring. I mean, it's August and I was just wearing them the other day, so you never know when you're gonna need them. They keep my feet warm, cozy all year round, and since the weather is very unpredictable here, it's a necessity. And lastly, a bath mat that dries quickly, just like I said about the British homes in general, but bathrooms especially tend to be humid, chilly, and really slow to air out. Combine that with small enclosed spaces and poor ventilation, you've got a recipe for soggy towels and musty smells. I found myself constantly stepping on a damp bath mat, so I finally invested in one that dries quickly, like those quick dry stone mats, and it was such a game changer. My other traditional bath mat legit never got dry, like ever, and it just started to smell all the time. So I'd highly consider a fast drying stone bath mat instead. I'd even consider dry fit towels. I know they feel like weirdly athletic because it's not like the same thing, but it happens to the towels here too. Like you put them on and it's just damp and it just starts to smell weird really quickly. But you know, having a bath mat that doesn't hold moisture is key to keeping your bathroom feeling and smelling fresh. So there you have it, 10 things I never thought I'd need until I moved to Britain. Some of them felt strange at first, but now they're absolute must-haves in my daily routine here. If you're new to the UK or planning a move, I hope this gave you some helpful insight and maybe a shopping list to start from. So let me know in the comments what surprised you the most when adjusting to life in a new country, or things that you had to buy when you moved abroad that you never had to before. Now let's take a look at why I left the US and moved to the UK in the first place.